Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, Saints and Patriots? Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, RagingElePhantsRadio.com. The rebellious voice of Texas Liberty. So happy to have you with me today. And thank you, all of you that clicked over from your terrestrial AM and decided to go with the high-definition stereo audio of Raging Elephants Radio's live stream. Today's program is indeed filled to the brim. Pastor Stephen Broden, Raging Elephants Radio contributor and member of the State Republican Executive Committee. Making her return to Raging Elephants Radio, RER contributor on education, Alice Linehan, has decided to rejoin civilization after her wilderness excursions in Colorado and, I think she said, Montana. I'm glad she's still alive. White water rafting can be a life-endangering activity, which she was doing. I was happy to see that she had on a helmet, at least. We cannot lose Big Al. Sassy Alice. Can't lose her. And we're going to be talking about, finally, have a chance to talk about the communist move of President Donald by combining education and labor. That's a communist move, you know. Straight up Marxist. Soviet education model. Centralized control of the indoctrination of your children. Now, let's get this straight. Donald Trump is not a conservative. He does conservative things, but he's not a conservative, because a conservative wouldn't do that. A conservative would not combine the Department of Education and the Department of Labor. The last time I checked, every Republican candidate up for president nominee up until Donald Trump said that they wanted to get rid of the Department of Education. Well, it's still there. Since its creation during the Jimmy Carter administration, the second worst president in the 20th century at least. I mean, Woodrow Wilson is in there. Jimmy Carter, all of them are bad. I mean, as far as Democrat presidents. Woodrow Wilson's in there. Jimmy Carter's in there. Worst president ever? I don't know. Barack Hussein Obama. Johnson of the 19th century. Could be a toss-up. So, Alice and I are going to talk about that. And I have to start off today's program. Before I go into more politics, I'm going to try and get through this entire program. It may be difficult because the cutest Christmas puppy of 2017, Butch Alexander Kamau-Imani is his full name, as given to him by Jasmine. Had surgery yesterday, so if he gets to whining or he's having a problem, I may have to go to extra commercials, or I may have to go to a replay or something, so I have to be cognizant of baby Butch. Animal lovers out there completely, totally understand. I shouldn't have to go into any further detail. So if you hear Butch whining or crying or something like that because he's uncomfortable, I'm gonna have to deal with it. It's just the way it is. And I'm sure all of you understand. If I also have time today, I have some figures on, believe it or not, Texas sports. The money being piled up by Texas college sports. Oh, any of you guys that are watching on Facebook Live or on YouTube Live, I'm going both Facebook Live and YouTube Live. If you want to catch me on YouTube Live, it's RER video channel on YouTube. And of course, Facebook Live, our Facebook page, facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio. Or you can find everything through a Google search at Raging Elephants Radio. You just saw Butch walk back in and out of the studio. 8 months old and 70 plus pounds. So at least the growth rate has slowed down a little bit. It was 10 pounds a month. So at least it's slowed down a little bit. I'm still thinking when he fills out, he's going to be right around 100 pounds. At least 90. He's going to be a big Doberman. And he's beautiful. He's gorgeous. Anyway, what I want to get to today is we're going to talk about how to build the wall. Now, I've been extremely critical of President Trump. I have. Because if the truth be told, his performance on border security and stopping the invasion, well, let's just call it like it is. It's been piss poor. It's been awful. If I was a government school educator, I would go beyond giving him an F- in big red ink. It would be a Z- with the potential of being suspended for school for improper behavior. It's awful. Totally awful. Tina texted me yesterday, or during the Facebook Live commentary thread. She said she gets it. She understands it. When you're seeing the kind of numbers that we're seeing, I mean, let me do the math real quick, because I don't think I did the math. What is 100? Let me see. Calculator. 177 times 2. Okay, so far in 9 months of FY 2018, 354,000 illegal invaders have entered into Texas. Are you satisfied with that? Are you happy with that? Trunkins, I'm asking you the question, especially if you reside in Texas, especially if you have a Texas first policy like I do. 354,000 border crossings illegally in 9 months of FY 2018. Approximately 354,000. Now, we know that 177,000, what is the exact number? 177,825 illegal invaders were apprehended in the 9 months, these 9 months of FY 2018. But as we learned from the spokesperson for the National Border Patrol Council, it's a 50-50 proposition. So if they captured 177,000, that means 177,000 got away. Border Patrol actually calls them gotaways. Now, how they calculate that, I have some suspicion, and I'll opine on that based on my relationships with those that are members of the Texas Border Volunteers. But I believe it's a situation of they have observed those that have invaded Texas, and Border Patrol didn't have the manpower to go and get them. Texas DPS didn't have the manpower to go and get them. So they infiltrated into the interior of the Lone Star State untouched and are end zone dancing somewhere within the United States, perhaps Texas, perhaps Houston, since it's the most awesome city on the globe. But is that satisfactory to you? For all the Trumpkins out there, for all of those that would like to indict me for being a never Trumper, which I am not, but when someone is doing a bad job and it impacts Texas, I don't care who you are, I don't care who your supporters are, I'm going to call you out. And there are those out there that are saying, oh, wait a minute, you know, he gets so much heat from the left. Big corporate media is always down his throat. They're always giving him a body cavity search, figuratively. Nothing he does can satisfy them. I get that. I understand your concern. I know you want the dogs to be called off the president. That's the left. I'm on the right, and I see things that are being done that are anti-liberty. I see things that are not being done that are a violation of his duties and his promises within the campaign. And when he's standing up in one of his stupendous 100% entertaining rallies, and he's talking about strong borders, and he's talking about deportation, but when you look at the record, the performance leaves a lot to be desired. Well then, in my view, he is ripe for criticism. I'm not going to give him a free pass. You, as a Trumpkin, you may want him to have a free pass. You are so happy that Barack Insane Obama is out of the Oval Office, and literal damage potentially has been stopped as far as the Constitution is concerned. Irreparable harm to the Republic, so much so that, you know, as you guys know, I'm for Texas independence. So much harm that when Trump comes in, oh, just leave him alone. We're just so happy Barack Insane Obama is gone. Trump is a breath of fresh air. But if you're going to be intellectually honest, and if I'm going to have any integrity as a combat journalist, then I have to be honest about the performance that 45 is doing, and it's piss poor. If you have 350,000 illegal invaders crossing into Texas in the first 9 months of FY 2018, which is the first full FY fiscal year for the Trump administration, and the performance on border security is just as poor as Barack Hussein Obama, then the criticism should be just as fervent against President Trump as it was against President Barack Hussein Obama. That's just called being honest. That's just called having integrity, intellectual honesty, journalistic integrity. I claim to be biased. I openly admit I am biased media. Raging Elephants Radio is biased media. We are biased towards liberty. Every perspective that we look at, every issue, we look at it from the perspective of life, liberty, and prosperity. We plead guilty to being biased liberty. I plead guilty to being a biased combat journalist. I plead guilty because if you're going to have bias in the media, if you're going to have biased journalism, I think biased towards liberty is the right bias to have. If you're going to be imbalanced, then towards liberty is where you want your imbalance to lie, and that's us. And if President Donald is not protecting liberty, which includes border security and the sovereign territory of the Lone Star State, well, I'm going to call him out. And he's doing a terrible job. You tell me, I want anybody, somebody, anybody within the sound of my voice, within the vision of my image on video to disagree with me. He's doing a great job. He's not. And we're going to keep talking about this until he does. We're going to stay on it because according to polling numbers, the #1 issue for Texans right now is the border invasion. And RER is going to stay on it.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
I'm in a hotel, and a hotel is the perfect place to talk to you about hotels using words. All you can eat is a hotel policy that allows you to eat all that you can. Hotel conference rooms are where business people sleep through conferences. This business people is going to be fired. The hotel pool is usually filled with water. Sometimes you have to check, but pretty much always. The best way to enjoy the hotel view is to look at it.
And it is a great view.
The hotel gym is short for gymnasium. The hotel lounge is where you want to do your lounging, like this. And the best .com for booking hotels is hotels.com. It's on the internet, but you probably knew that. Or maybe not. I don't really know you.
Welcome back, Captain Obvious.
Yes, I am. All those words are spelled correctly.
Visit Hotels.com through the RER Marketplace.
Hi, I'm Steve Nathan, Product Training Manager from JR Cigar, and today we are smoking the Asylum 13 Schizo. So let's get crazy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I'm smoking the Schizo, which is the bundled line extension of the famed Asylum 13. This has a nutty taste. Leathery, creamy, psycho, kooky, nuts. I'm tasting nuts. And the beauty of this thing is this is a mixed filler cigar and reasonably priced. You won't even know it's a mixed filler cigar. You want to know why? Because you're crazy.
Visit JR Cigars through the RER Marketplace.
Can you do it? The RER 2+2 Challenge. Howdy, rowdy Texans. It's me, E, the millennial voice of RER. I'm a big fan of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. More Texas voters should be listening to RER every day. A better, deeper knowledge of how Texas works will help Texas voters to make Texas more like Texas. The RER 2+2 Challenge. Listen to RER 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. You'll learn more about Texas politics in 2 weeks than you've ever known. Mark it on your daily calendar. Set your phone alarm. The RER 2+2 Challenge. 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. The rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
You're enjoying Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Just having fun talking Texas Liberty 411. Hey everybody, do us a favor, will you? Go buy a coffee mug, will you? Raging Elephants Radio gear at RagingElePhantsRadio.com. That's one way you can support the work of your Texas network. Get some Raging Elephants Radio gear. T-shirt, frosty beer mug. Get a bumper sticker. Get the bumper sticker that says, "Stop the Invasion." If you happen to be watching right now on Facebook or, well, not on YouTube, because I'm both on YouTube Live and I'm on Facebook Live. I'm pulling it off, technically, Saints and Patriots. You should be proud of me. You guys have been saying, "Claver, we want you on video." I don't know why. Potentially, I could break my webcam, and then I got to get dressed every day now. I can't do the program in my pajamas. That really stinks. Look, if you want me to continue doing this thing on video, y'all need to go buy some RER gear. If you're watching on Facebook Live, right there on the page, you can click one of our bumper sticker posts. Just hit the Shop Now button. They'll get you a $5 bumper sticker and help out Raging Elephants Radio. If you have suggestions for a bumper sticker. Now, strangely enough, for some reason, I don't have a straight-up RagingElePhantsRadio.com bumper sticker. I have to get one. I want window decals, too. I'm going to get those designed and put those in the inventory. I'll let you know when they're ready. They'll be posted at Facebook.com, Raging Elephants Radio, and on RagingElePhantsRadio.com, the website. Now, later on in this program, I am going to tell you, as promised on yesterday, I am going to tell you the quickest and more fiscally responsible and expeditious way to build the wall. Me, I'm going to do that. Me. Because apparently the brilliance of the billionaire president, the blue-collar billionaire, it hasn't occurred to him. I don't think I'm as smart as Donald Trump. I don't think so. I mean, you know. But I would think that the obvious way to fund the wall and get the construction up and ready in full force would have already occurred to him. But apparently it hasn't. So I'm going to have to step in and tell 45 how to get it done. I hope he's listening. I know he watches the Foxes all the time. It's very titillating to watch the Foxes. So I don't know. He may not be listening right now. But I'm sure that there's a Trumpkin out there that has connections to the Oval that later on in this program, when I give the grand plan how to build a wall, you will pass along that information to General Kelly, Chief of Staff. Because as you see these numbers that I've been sharing with you, we can't wait for the wall to be built. The invasion is going on right now. We cannot wait for the wall to be built. How long will it take to build the wall? They have no full funding for the wall right now. So when is the wall going to be built? When is the invasion going to be stopped? When is the conquest of the United States, but more importantly Texas, going to be stopped? When is it going to be stopped? And we can't wait for the wall. And I got to say, I think it's an ego thing with the president when it comes to the wall. We all know, and it's accurate, it's not an empty boast. He is a builder. He builds skyscrapers. He, in his portfolio, has pretty impressive real estate all over the world. Commercial, recreational, such as 5-star golf courses that I will probably never get a chance to hit off the tee ever in my life. He likes things to have his name on it. Well, who wouldn't? I would love to brand Claver in the way that Trump is branded. I'm not so sure Apostle Claver goes over well, but Claver, why not Apostle Claver? Why not? As far as branding. But we know he likes to have his name on stuff. Trump Tower, Trump Casino, Trump International this, Trump Hotel that. We know. He wants to build the wall because he knows it's going to be known as the Trump Wall. It's not going to be known as the wall, like, on Game of Thrones. It will be known as the Trump Wall. And I hope his ego isn't getting in the way of Texas security. I hope his ego isn't getting in the way of national security. Yesterday, I hammered hard the fact that the president is very proud of the fact that over the next 2 years, the United States of America is going to spend $1.4 trillion for national security and defense, yet we're being conquered by an invading force of toddlers in dirty diapers. If you're going to spend $1.4 trillion in national defense, I would think you would have national defense. But we don't have national defense because our border is being infiltrated at a rate of 1 invader per minute, as the math shows us, as I gave you on yesterday. Yes, Saints and Patriots, I'm not talking about New Mexico. I'm not talking about Arizona. I'm not talking about California. I'm talking about Texas. That 1 invader, regardless of age, gender, whether they have a dirty diaper, whether they're male, female, MS-13, pregnant, not pregnant, a full family, not a full, 1 invader per minute is crossing the Rio Grande. At this rate, right now, as we speak, 1 per minute, the number of invaders crossing into Texas. There isn't anyone who is liberty-driven in Texas that should not be furious about these types of statistics and should be infuriated that the president would try to put some spin on us as if somehow border security is getting better. Beauregard Sessions needs to be fired or he should retire. The one thing that we thought Beauregard was going to be good on would be border security. He would stop the invasion. It has not. He has not. Beauregard either needs to be fired, or more properly, for someone that we had such respect for, still have respect for, he should resign with honor and spend his remaining days with his loving, faithful wife and however many grandchildren and great-grandchildren that he has. But to use a sports analogy, the game has passed him by. He's slow, he's tepid, his brain isn't functioning as sharp as it used to be. Hey man, just ride off into the sunset and enjoy your governmental pensions, because you're doing a piss poor job on border security. Kristen Nielsen, smart woman, beautiful woman, gorgeous woman, needs to be fired. Why? Because she's not doing her job. That's Butch in the background whining. Sorry guys. Butch, sorry buddy. I have to give him some pain medication, I do believe. He had surgery yesterday, so he's not feeling well. Butch. You can see him behind the computer on the, here he is right here. Here, Butch. There you go, boy. It's okay, buddy. He was all night by himself. That's okay, buddy. It's alright, Butch. It's alright, buddy. He's right here, you can see him. Show him your face, Butch. There you go. There he is. Poor boy. I know, I got you all riled up too because of Trump and the border invasion. I bet you Butch would sniff out a few of those dirty diaper invaders, wouldn't you, Butch? You'd eat them alive, wouldn't you? Poor fella. It's my boy. It's okay, Butch. It's a pretty boy. So there you see, if you've never seen Butch, there he is on Facebook Live. There he is on YouTube Live. There he is. He's a good boy. He's whining a little bit. I think he may be in a little pain. I may have to go back and get him some sedative medicine or something. He's a good boy. All right. So as I was saying, no, I think that Donald, I hope his ego is not stopping him from building a wall. And we don't have to wait for the Congress to appropriate more money to build the wall. There is a way for us to be able to get full funding for the wall, get it up, get it going now, because we can't wait for the Donald to build the wall. We can't. Not at a rate of 350. We still got 3 months left. Still have 3 months left in FY18 to see what the total numbers are going to be. But so far in 9 months, 350,000 people, illegal invaders from south of the border, primarily from the triangle countries of Central America, have invaded into Texas. 350,000, not the entire United States, not including New Mexico, Arizona, and California, just Texas. 350,000 plus individuals approximately have illegally crossed into Texas. When does it stop? Who takes responsibility? Who do we blame? As of right now, it's President the Donald doing a terrible job on border security. And I'm going to stay on him until he does something about it. I'm going to stay on Abbott and Patrick and Paxton. Forget Joe Strauss, until something is done about it. Somebody needs to voice these concerns. Somebody needs to brief you on how poor the numbers look. And if it's me, then it just has to be me. I love you.
Green Air technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
My husband Clint is a gourmet cook, but we don't have a gourmet kitchen, at least not in our home. That's why when we go on vacation, we rent a house from HomeAway.com. It's part of what makes HomeAway so unique. Finding and booking a vacation rental at HomeAway isn't just easy and free for travelers, it's also fun. You can pour through photos, read descriptions, even search maps to make sure a property is near the attractions you want to enjoy. White sand beaches, golf courses, snow-covered ski slopes. Not only do we have more space to be ourselves, we save money, which we can put towards the next vacation. To get started, just put in your travel dates, decide where you want to go and how much you want to spend. Here's where it gets fun. Tailor your vacation to your likes. We've rented beach houses, one even had a private pool. That was nice. There's even a HomeAway app for your phone or tablet that works as seamlessly as the website. Choose a house that fits your family. Double the kids up in bunk beds, or give them each their own room.
I love bunk beds. What I don't love is listening to the person on top squirm around all night. I love bunk beds.
We prefer a house with a big screen TV, so we can have movie night.
Whose turn was it to choose the movie?
Oh, come on, Mom. The kids love this stuff.
Once I found a few homes I really like, I read reviews from other travelers and create a list of favorites. Then I contact each owner to confirm availability and ask any questions I might have. I can also share that same list with my family and friends.
Really, Grandpa?
What?
After you hear back from the owner, all that's left is signing the rental agreement and paying a deposit. Then you can sit back, relax, and enjoy your vacation. With HomeAway, where you stay is the best part of the vacation.
Visit HomeAway through the RER Marketplace.
Hey, Barry, the music Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars, or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Listen up, Texans. RER Nation has got to grow. We've got to have those RER app downloads. Android devices. Here's how to share the RER app. Get to your application manager through Settings, tap the RER app logo. There's your Google Play, right? Scroll down, see the share icon, hit it. Choose text or messenger. Pick a couple of Texas Patriots. Give a testimony in 160 characters. Send. iOS device folks, do the equivalent through the App Store. Let's get it viral. RER app.
Information, communication, action. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
I'm telling you, it's a really good idea. If you haven't downloaded the Raging Elephants Radio app, you need to do that. We got some special surprises coming at you, but you're gonna have to have the RER app to enjoy those surprises. I told Eugene on yesterday, hey, look, man, when you're out there doing that political conversion work, the best thing you can do, and you're talking to somebody one-on-one or one-on-two, is to actually confiscate their devices and download the app. He said he wasn't going to use force to possess somebody's device in order to download the app, but he would instruct them on how to do it. And he said he has done that in numerous times, and that it's not very difficult to persuade someone to download the Raging Elephants Radio app, the RER app. Once they understand that we are the rebellious voice of Texas liberty, we are your Texas network. Once he tells them that we are 100% Texas-centric, they are eager to download the RER app. So that should be an essential component of your political evangelism, is to have everybody download the RER app. Raging Elephants Radio contributor Pastor Stephen Broden is with me. He's from the DFW Metroplex area, and he's a member of the State Republican Executive Committee. Hey, Pastor Broden, how are you, man? Good to hear your voice again.
I'm doing great, man. I'm just sort of sitting here watching the Struck testimony before the Judiciary Committee, and I'm doing the same thing that Lisa Page is doing. She's taking notes on how to respond to the judiciary tomorrow. So she's looking at her ex-lover and saying, here's how I'm going to respond to these questions. The Republicans got outmaneuvered again.
Well, I was watching a little bit of it today before I had to go pick up Butch from the vet, and it seemed like the Democrats were in full-fledged defense and flailing. They looked absolutely in anarchy and chaos. I don't know, Pastor Broden. I mean, go ahead and give your assessment. You think the Republicans have been outmaneuvered on this?
I do, because they let Lisa Page get away with not showing up yesterday. And guess what she's doing now? She's getting her talking points and how to respond to the questions from her ex-lover. And so when they bring her in tomorrow, she's going to not contradict him. She's going to reinforce what he has said by saying, well, this is what we were thinking at the time. The same thing that he has been saying today. And I said, how did they allow that to happen? How did they allow that to happen?
Congress has no power. Well, the thing that struck me yesterday, speaking of struck, the thing that struck me yesterday was Catherine Herridge of the Fox's network reported that they are former lovers. And I'm like, well, what's your source? How do you know that? How do you know they broke up? How do you know they're still not, swinging it off, doing whatever they do, How do you know that? that they're forming. Who's the source that they're? Did she talk to Lisa Page, or did she talk to Peter Strzok, and then someone said, "Oh no, we broke up"? Because I see Strzok still has his wedding ring on. I see that, right? I want to know who the source is that they are officially broken up. Do you know, Pastor Broden? Because I don't.
I don't, and she's married too. Don't forget that. Both of them were married, and they. How can we trust the testimony of two who have not kept their vows to their marriage and have been involved in infidelity?
No, man.
And they stand before us and say that they dispassionately disconnected themselves from their political bias against this administration and did their job. Okay, and my name is Willie Poo Poo.
Now, ain't that the truth? Don't even need the facts that they were both involved in an adulterous affair. Don't even need that fact. The fact, the evidence of them being both filthy in doing their job, filthy cop in the case of Strzok and a filthy lawyer in the case of Page.
Right.
There's enough evidence to surpass the height of Mount Everest. That Congress is completely powerless. I mean, let's not forget, Eric Heinrich Holder was held in contempt of Congress, and he's thinking about running for president. I mean, the charges.
Well, I mean, the Congress, when they find that this guy is in contempt and that he has done something criminal, he has to refer it to the where?
Department of Justice.
Of Justice, and it dies in the Department of Justice, and that's why we see the kind of ineptitude that's happening now, because what has happened is that Sessions has so gotten in the way of justice by recusing himself that he is inept. He can't do anything. So if they refer to the Department of Justice, they refer to the biggest swamp rat that's over there, Rob Rosenstein. And what is he going to do? Nothing.
Awful. He's awful. I mean, these guys. See, that's the problem. Where can the American people, or more specifically Texans, who and where can they place their confidence in anything that's going on in Washington, Devil City? We're not blind. They want us to believe our lying eyes or our lying ears. Really? Don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe your lying ears. We're not stupid. We see what's going on. The question is, what can we, the people, do something about? What can we do about it? We thought that on November 8th, 2016, something would be done about it. It seems like it's just swirling into a bigger ball of confusion, Pastor Broden. Who's going to do something about it? They're spinning their wheels like they're in a swamp buggy.
That's the big question. And I heard something from Jeffrey Schaefer, I think, who used to be in Congress. He said something today on Fox News. He said, that's the reason why I left. He said, the reason why I left is because we can't get nothing done in Congress. Now, that was very telling for him to say that. Because the question was, what can happen if they find something wrong? If, in fact, Lisa doesn't show up tomorrow, she's already violated two what they call it?
Subpoenas.
Subpoenas, yeah. Two subpoenas, and they haven't done anything. And if she doesn't show up tomorrow, but she'll show up tomorrow because she's ready. She's taking notes now, and she's going to be ready to answer the questions. They got outmaneuvered. And that's something that the Democrats are very good at, is outmaneuvering the Republicans. And we've been outmaneuvered again here, and justice will slip through our hands again because these people will have manipulated, obfuscated, and obstructed again, and we will be left holding the bag. It will never happen with you. If you do something wrong, you're going to jail. But when you're Bill Clinton, when you're Hillary Clinton, when you're McCabe, James Comey, all of them, they're getting away with breaking the law, and there's nothing we can do about it because we have a toothless lion in the House of Congress. I'm so frustrated. I don't know what to do.
See, and I used to live in D.C., and there's something called there's a police force called the Capitol Police. And I'm saying, well, who controls them? They're not there simply for security, are they? We know that there's a jail in the basement of Congress. I mean, how come, if they're sending U.S. Marshals to serve Lisa Page with subpoenas to appear before Congress, then they have connections to some sort of law enforcement agency. How come the Speaker of the House or the majority leader or the vice president, who is the president of the Senate, doesn't have power to go tell a police force, go arrest this person for violating the power of our subpoena. I don't understand that. Where's the police
That's a good
force?
question, man.
Okay?
That's a good question.
There is such a thing as the Capitol Police. They have, I cannot count the numbers of different law enforcement agencies that operate within the District of Columbia. There's a bunch of them. Different, just Metro Police, DC Police, Capitol Police. They're all over the place. There's police all over the place in DC, different police forces, and there's a Capitol Hill police force. How come the Congress, whether the Speaker of the House or the Majority Leader of the Senate or the Vice President, who's the President of the Senate, doesn't have control over that police force to say, the laws of Congress, the orders of Congress are being violated. Someone has been charged with contempt of Congress, which it takes a vote of the Congress to do, to find somebody in contempt. That means the members have voted in the majority to find someone in contempt, and there's absolutely no consequences for the violation of the powers of Congress. The investigatory powers of Congress. They have the power to subpoena. Here's another question I have, Pastor Broden. There has to be, like for instance, let me back up a little bit, and I want your thoughts on this. Sessions supposedly appointed a U.S. attorney out of Utah to look at these cases, how they were handled independently. Okay? So I'm saying a subpoena is different from a warrant. A subpoena, you are obligated to abide by an order. A warrant, law enforcement officials, LEOs, have the ability to go get whatever they want in your possession or not. They can go get you a warrant for your arrest, a warrant for search and seizure if necessary. I want to know, how come there isn't a U.S. attorney out there, independent of the Department of Justice under Rod Rosie, that can issue a warrant issued against the DOJ, issue a warrant against the FBI. They don't want to give up the text messages. They don't want to give up the emails. They don't want to give up the documents. We're waiting for them to comply. Forget that. Somebody issue a warrant, go in there and raid the FBI, raid the DOJ, just like they raided Cohen's office, just like they raided what's his name? Manafort's house. Go raid the FBI. Go raid the DOJ. Get a warrant and go get those documents and quit waiting for them to redact anything that's incriminating out of whatever they want to turn over to you. I don't understand that. I'm not a lawyer.
I think you're asking the right questions, and I think there is an answer, and we need to get that answer from someone. And it just seems to me that there's an ineptitude that is evident here. And it's frustrating for me as a citizen of this United States who know instinctively and what we see with our own physical eye that there has been something illegal that has happened here, that there was a deliberate attempt on the part of this deep state to try to undermine the will of the people in this election, and that these people are obstructing justice even today. There needs to be something that can be done, and I think it can be done. I just believe right now that they have not exercised the full orb and scope of their stewardship responsibility as the House of Representatives and as Senate. Listen, the Constitution was written, and the articles sort of indicate where the powers are. The first article represents where the power of our government is. It's in this branch of government. They have the power because they represent we the people. The second one is the executive office, and then the third is the judiciary. And that's the level of strength that is evident that our founding fathers placed within that document. And I'm telling you, the most powerful force in the government is the House of Representatives and the Senate, and they have been reduced to a tigerless or a toothless tiger, and they're not getting the job done. Somebody needs to step forward and take the bull by the horn and say, this has gone too far, and we're going to exercise our power and authority.
Well, I'm glad
they have power of the purse. They can stop funding these folks. I mean, and that'll get people's attention real quickly. You will not get a check until you turn those papers over. No money. No money. You won't get a check. I bet your papers will be flying all over the place.
Well, I'm glad you used the word. I'm glad you used the word or the phrase "not getting the job done," because all this week and last week, I make no apology for being extremely critical of the president for not getting the job done on border security. The numbers are as worse as Barack Hussein Obama, and I'm sure that there are Trump supporters out there that are livid with me because I'm giving him such a hard time because the leftist media, big corporate media, is on him 24/7, 365. But I firmly believe that he needs to be pushed from the right as well. He needs to be held accountable from the right as well, from true conservatives, from true liberty-minded, liberty-driven citizens, not just liberty-driven Texans, about border security. The number one issue polling data tells us that Texans are concerned about is border security, the border invasion. Pastor Broden, I have done the research. I have gone directly to the government websites. I have gone to ICE's website, and I've gotten their numbers on apprehensions and gotaways, those that got away, okay? And as of today, apprehensions in Texas are at 177,000 for FY 2018. 177,000 plus have been apprehended in Texas. And what we've heard from the National Border Security Council is that if 177,000 were apprehended, 177,000 got away. That's 350,000 that have invaded into Texas in the 9 months so far of FY 2018. Now, there may be those out there that are Trump supporters, I call them Trumpkins, that do not appreciate the fact that I'm being hypercritical of the president. But if he's doing a poor job, then I'm obligated. If I'm going to have any kind of combat journalistic integrity, I'm obligated to call him out. The invasion continues. And the Pink Domers are responsible for this. Greg Abbott is responsible for this. Patrick, Abbott, Strauss, they're responsible for this. The invasion continues, and it's intolerable, it's untenable, and no one is doing anything effectively about it. What I've been hammering the president about is he goes to the rallies and he boasts about the $1.4 trillion that are going to be spent over the next 2 years to build up the United States military, yet we're being conquered by a group of toddlers in dirty diapers without a shot being fired. That's intolerable.
Well, I tell you, I'm also holding him responsible for not getting the job done with the DOJ. That's within his purview of responsibility. That's in the executive branch. He can simply go to Rob Rosenstein and say, turn over those documents, and I mean turn them over now.
No, know what he can do? You know what we've learned from
that's his job. They work for him.
Yeah, well,
they work for him.
We've learned from the likes of Greg Jarrett and others that have greater legal minds than us put together times 10. Greg Jarrett says, and others, I think even Dershowitz has said this, President Trump has the power to declassify anything he wants. Anything.
Absolutely.
So he can say, I want every document that has been requested by Congress to be turned over and unredacted. Being unclassified means all those redactions are removed. And so if he wants the truth to come out, if he wants the Mueller investigation to absolutely evaporate into nothingness, then he needs to apply his power. He can declassify everything. He doesn't even have to give them an order to turn it over. Simply with signing his name, all those documents can be unclassified and available to any citizen in the nation to review. And he should do that. Don't you agree, Pastor Broden?
Oh, absolutely. This thing is drug out too long. And we who are Americans who are watching, the citizens, we're waiting for justice because we know an injustice has happened. And Donald Trump, the president, has the power to make that happen. Now, the optics, I don't give a rip about optics.
Mm-hmm.
I give a rip about justice. And once you get it out there, then people will understand why he did what he did. I think he needs to do it. I think, and I would advise him to do so. And part of what Greg Abbott needs to be doing, and our elected officials here, as it relates to the numbers that you just represented to us, they need to be putting pressure on Washington to uphold their constitutional duty to protect the citizens of this great land, and that includes our border.
I don't think they
and
want
that
to do it. I don't think they want
yes,
to
they
do
need
it.
to do it.
I don't think they want to do
But
it. I don't think they want to do it.
I don't care whether they want to do it or not. If we want it done, we can make them do it. And that's the problem.
When
Is that
Barack-
we're sitting back waiting for them to do it as opposed to putting pressure on them to do it. That's the problem. That's the problem. We're pointing fingers at them. I want you to know we're pointing fingers at them, but I'm pointing fingers at us.
Yep. See, the problem, Barack Hussein Obama, when he was in office, the argument was from the ATX, from the Pink Dome, from the governor's mansion, whether it was Perry or whether it was Abbott. Oh, this is a Washington, D.C. responsibility. This is out of our purview. We can't enforce the border. We can't stop the invasion. And I predicted that when President Trump was elected, that those here in Texas, would use his election as a continued excuse for inaction. And they have. They will continue to say it is a Washington problem. And they will not point out how bad the border is because it's going to reflect poorly on President Trump. And that could jeopardize their political standing and their paychecks and their pensions, Pastor Broden.
Well, until we as Americans stand up to the plate and begin to take swings at the ball, it's not going to change. If we stand on the sidelines, when we the people ordain this government, and we have a responsibility to ensure that those laws and constitutional principles that are enumerated within that document are upheld by those who swear, who take an oath to do so. Until we hold them accountable, it won't happen. And that means that we've got to have some consensus on the basis of who we are as citizens based upon our knowledge of that document. And unfortunately, what I'm discovering is a lot of people don't know that document, even the ones who are standing up and saying, I'm a constitutional patriot.
Mm-hmm.
Ask them, how many articles are in the Constitution? 30. Mm-hmm. What? How many amendments to the Constitution? You'd be surprised on how many answers I get. 10,
no, I wouldn't be
15.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Ask the question, and you'll find just how ignorant we are of this most important document, the one that stands between us and tyranny and despotism. We don't even know it. Until we get to know it, there are 7 articles that define how this government should operate. And quite frankly, they're not operating within the context and the enumerated duties specified to it within the Constitution. And not enough of us know that.
And the constraints of the Constitution.
I'm pointing the finger at us. No, I'm pointing the finger at us. It's us. We're the problem. And we can complain about them all we want. Until you do something about it, I don't want to hear it.
Now look, Pastor Broden, I know you got to go because you're booked for another meeting or another interview. But before you go,
right,
I just want to get just real quick, in the time that you have remaining, your thoughts on how the speaker's race is developing. Did you see any developments? Are your sources out there throughout the landscape of Texas, the liberty movement, the influencers within? Are you hearing any chatter? Your ear to the ground, any movement on the speaker's race at all?
You know what? I'm not hearing any chatter. I'm asking questions, and most people are saying, duh, and they're not aware of the fact that this is something that we need to be engaged in. I'm getting the information out to as many Tea Party patriots as possible, and many of them are not aware of the fact that we need to be engaged on this. They're assuming that the process itself will work itself out. And I'm saying, no, make no assumption like that. You must be engaged in the process and fueling it and oiling it in the direction where you want it to go. Because if you don't, you may get something that's very similar to what we lost. And no, I'm not. And I'm asking you to help beat the drum on that.
Oh, I will.
And of course, I'm doing it in my small sphere of influence. And I'm talking to people on the SREC. I'm talking to people in the Tea Party Patriots, and asking them, what are we going to do, and how are we going to be engaged in this process? And maybe I should stop asking the question and come up with a strategy myself. An inner city pastor in the inner city of South Dallas. I'm going to have to come up with a plan. So it looks like that's where I am right now. But I'm sure with this conversation that at least someone out there is going to ask a question. Who are the candidates? Right now, the one that I think that's the head of everybody right now is Philip King. He's the one who's the head.
So we got King. So far declared, we've got King, Drew Darby, John Zerwas. Anybody else?
Those are 2 that I know about, and maybe one more. But of the two, King is out in front.
Drew Darby, Phil King, John Zerwas, and at some point Travis Clardy was making noise about potentially declaring. When they were talking about this, it was over a year until the speaker's election is going to be held. The reality is we're 6 months away, and we need to be talking about this.
That's right.
Wait till January.
We need to be talking about it.
We can't wait till January.
This will ultimately determine the agenda of the conservative movement in Texas. Will it be alive and viable, or will it run into the same kind of cloggage and blockage that we experienced under Strauss? This is why this is so important. This is more important than the governor's race.
Oh, no question. No question. Because we have found out quickly, for those who have not been indoctrinated into Texas politics, baptized into...
Hey, look, man, I look forward to being with you next week because I got some stuff I want to talk to you about this border stuff.
You got it.
I think you'll find interesting.
You got it. No problem.
God bless you. See you next time.
You bet. Pastor Broden has to cut out early because he has, he's such a media darling that the demands on his time are limited. He's got other business to take care of, and we'll catch up with Pastor Broden at his normal time next week as a Raging Elephants radio contributor. Don't forget you can listen to Pastor Broden also on Sunday mornings and Sunday evenings at 9:30. His Bible teachings are outstanding. Also, you can find my Bible teachings, Raging Elephants Radio. Wait, hold up. My Bible teachings are on Facebook. Facebook.com/Apostle Claver, or just do a search at Apostle Claver on Facebook or on Google. You'll find my Twitter account, you'll find my Facebook page, and I do a little Bible teaching too, as you know.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantsRadio.com. Pastor Stephen Broden is a featured Bible teacher.
What runs interference with God's instructive word are Satan, the world, and the flesh. Out of these three comes doubt, fear, and unbelief. Doubt and fear leads to unbelief. Unbelief, more than any other sin, is targeted towards the very character and integrity of God Himself. It challenges God's promises, His stated purposes, and casts dispersion on His plan for you and all who believe. This is what Satan did in the Garden of God with Adam and Eve. Satan led them to believe God was holding back on them and was untruthful about the consequences if they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Enjoy Pastor Stephen Broden, 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElephantsRadio.com. RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantsRadio.com. Pastor Stephen Broden is a featured Bible teacher.
What runs interference with God's instructive word are Satan, the world, and the flesh. Out of these three comes doubt, fear, and unbelief. Doubt and fear leads to unbelief. Unbelief, more than any other sin, is targeted towards the very character and integrity of God Himself. It challenges God's promises, His stated purposes, and casts dispersion on His plan for you and all who believe. This is what Satan did in the Garden of God with Adam and Eve. Satan led them to believe God was holding back on them and was untruthful about the consequences if they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Enjoy Pastor Stephen Broden, 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver, and I own a high-performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall Paul and the Katie. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com. Or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, this is Barry the Music Man with the Doc Green Show, and one of their most beloved sponsors is BDAC and Heat. I'll tell you what, last summer when it was hotter than heck, my air conditioner went south for the winter. So I called BDAC and Heat. He came out the next day and put in a new, quiet, efficient system. My electric bill dropped 50%. So if you have an AC problem, you need to give Gang a call. So call Gang on BD at 281-222-9591 or bdacandheat.com. 281-222-9591. Start saving money and be cool today.
Hey, this is Claver. I want to take a few seconds to give you some words of encouragement. Go after the dream. Some of you have embraced the dream of having your own talk show. Congratulations. You've got a lot to say, and you have the confidence to believe you can do a great job. You should start on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Purchasing your own block time is cheap. Yeah, a lot cheaper than your local terrestrial station for sure. And we don't leave you to sink or swim. Consultation on how to get up and running is part of our service to you as an RER independent producer. Shoot me an email, info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. I'll send you a full media kit. Launch that dream right now with RagingElePhantsRadio.com. What do you care about Washington, D.C.? D.C. doesn't care about you. You're a Texan. You're a Texan above all else. And there's only one radio station that's going to feed your need for Texas power and independence. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Finally, the Patriots of the Lone Star State have a unified voice to fight back and organize. 24/7, 365. RagingElePhantsRadio.com is going to give you what you need to know about Texas politics, liberty, and independence. Take us wherever you go. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Streaming on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and internet auto.
Get to know Texas politics. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Once again, my thanks to Pastor Stephen Broden, Raging Elephants Radio contributor. In just a few moments is going to be RER contributor Alice Linehan. If I could just get my computer to work correctly. I need a new computer. There is no question about it. I need a straight up new computer. How long have I had this laptop? I can't remember. Thanks for joining me, Saints and Patriots. Claver, your favorite political flavor, always giving it to you straight, no chaser. You can check me out on Facebook Live, facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio. And find me on the RER video channel on YouTube. Yeah, man, this computer I have, I got enough bandwidth where I could actually live video stream on 2 different channels. That's awesome. I call it my monster computer, and I want one that's even more powerful. The truth be known, not enough. I want one. This is what, 16 gigs of RAM. I want one that's 32. I want a 32 gig of RAM computer. Oh, that thing would be so fast. Okay, everybody just admit it. I'm brilliant. Let's just call it like it is. I'm brilliant because I know how to fund the wall without even needing congressional appropriations. Literally wouldn't cost us a penny. Would not cost the United States of America a penny. Now, here's the thing. As I have opined, even in the first part of this program yesterday and all during the week, we can't wait for the wall to be built. When Texas is being invaded at a rate of 350,000 people in just 9 months of a fiscal year, we can't wait for the wall. It is a crisis. We're being invaded. Yeah, the president's going to spend $1.4 trillion. The United States is $1.4 trillion over the next 2 years to rebuild the military. And we're being conquered by a brigade of toddlers in dirty diapers. Man. But I know a way. I know a way for us to be able to build a wall. I do. Let me pull my computer around. Now, according to ICE, these are the countries where most of the illegal invaders are coming from. Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and they got to throw in Mexico. Although, based on the numbers given by ICE, Mexico is actually the least intrusive when it comes to illegal invaders. It's ridiculous with these other triangle countries. Now, to get to the bottom line, the way for us to have the wall completely funded, no appropriations having to be set aside by United States Congress, none, zero. And not a single penny of our taxes having to be raised to pay for the wall. Which I believe the president is going to use as an excuse for not supplying border security, because if he actually secures the border, then somebody's going to say, oh gee, the invasion has been adequately reduced, we don't need a wall. So he wants open borders, he wants porous borders, he wants the invasion to continue, because if he does the job that he is sworn to do, shut down the invasion and protect the United States from enemies, foreign and domestic, then the argument would then be put in his face, oh, we don't need to build the wall. Sure, that is cynical. But if you're a Texan, you're supposed to be cynical of whomever is in governmental power. I don't care who it is. And I'm very skeptical of the motivations of President the Donald. Very skeptical. Because if he really cared about the invasion and border security, this border would be secured. You gonna tell us we don't have the military power? When we're getting reports that only 1/8 of resources available to the government to secure the border are actually being used at a port of entry like McAllen, Texas, then you need to be cynical, you need to be skeptical about the motivations of whomever is in office, whomever is in the White House, in the Oval Office. You need to have a healthy dose of skepticism. I don't care how popular Donald Trump is with you. The job on the border is not getting done. So all of my conspiracy theories, all of my skepticism, all of my cynicism, I'm going to throw it out there. And I don't think the president wants to secure the border because it endangers that big, beautiful wall that he wants to build. If Border Patrol, ICE, United States military does its job in shutting down the border and stopping the border invasion, then the president doesn't, the builder, the great builder that likes his name on everything, he's not going to want to build the wall. Or excuse me, his opponents will not want him to build the wall. They'll have a legitimate excuse, they'll believe. Oh no, the invasion has been quelled. The building of a wall would be a waste of resources, inhumane, and unnecessary. So I don't think that with 350,000 illegal invaders coming into Texas in just 9 months of this FY 2018, obviously he doesn't want to shut the border down. He doesn't want to secure the border. 20% of the GDP of these countries, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Mexico, 20% of their gross domestic product, their economy, is literally remittance. That's money coming out of the United States being sent over via Western Union or PayPal or whatever they're using, Zoom or whatever. What is it? Not Zillow. What is it? Zelle. I don't care what they're using. They're sending it back to their countries of origin. And so, obviously, the governments of Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, they have no problems with the border invasion because 1/5 of their economies are their citizens invading the United States, taking jobs from Americans and Texans and sending a portion of that money back to their countries of origin. 20%, 1/5 of their economies? I mean, think about it. It's common knowledge that 1/6 of the U.S. economy is healthcare. 1/6. So 1/5, which is larger, 1/5 of the economies of the Triangle countries and Mexico are actually monies coming from their citizens that have illegally invaded into Texas and the United States, and they're sending money back home to their countries of origin. And it's actually keeping the economies of their home countries afloat. Here's my suggestion. We take a huge chunk of that remittance, the money that's being earned through illegal labor, illegal invasion of Texas. We take a huge, usury chunk of that money, put it into the coffers, put it into an escrow account, just for building the wall. And how much money are we talking about? Well, you're going to have to stay tuned. Because when we come back out of this break, I'm going to give you the actual dollars. You guys know I like numbers. I like doing research. I like doing numbers. And numbers tell a story. Numbers don't lie. Math, when done correctly, doesn't lie. And sometimes simple addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division can give you the entire picture, all that you need to know. When I get back, I'm going to tell you how simply skimming a little off the top will help build the wall. You don't want to miss it. Raging Elephants Radio. If you're not listening, you're not learning. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers. More than an actual product, this is the name of the company that's going to lead you to a tobacco-free life. Apostle Claver here. ECV is where I went to break my cigar usage. Now I'm a happy vape fan. Vaping, healthy, more socially acceptable. The new cool thing, no one's better in Texas to intro you to the world and tech of vaping than electronic cigarette vaporizers. Bart, Chantal, Max, and Chris will teach you every feature of the dozens of vaping devices to choose from. ECV has a cornucopia of flavors, from fruity to cookies or even tobacco, each made from all natural products. No carcinogens, no smoky smell, and the choice of nicotine levels. Slowly drop your nic level down to 0 and break your tobacco habit with no jitters or stress while enjoying relaxing inhalation. You've been wanting to do it, so do it. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers, 2755 Gessner in Houston. Call 713-939-8273, 713-939-VAPE, or see the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com. Join the revolution. Introducing Texas National Outfitters, specializing in custom handmade cowboy boots and leather goods. T&O produces and sells the highest quality in Western wear, custom suits, hats, handmade jewelry, unique Texas gift items, and much, much more. Texas National Outfitters supports over 50 local Texas artisans that make the bulk of their products. They use these amazing and blessed artisans to create lifetime treasures that are available to you for purchase. These exquisite products will tastefully help you express your Texas pride. T&O, Texas National Outfitters, is not a big box store. It feels like Texas in there. They operate on Christian principles. They feed on supporting Texas culture. Caution, you could be their customer forever. Houston location, 8933 Katy Freeway next to Goods Barbecue. Austin location, 1115 South Congress, down the street from the Pink Dome. T-N-O.com, or click the ad on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars, or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beer years in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru, located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Maintaining your home air conditioner is just as important as maintenance on your car. You don't know the big difference there's going to be until you've had the work done. I thought my system was working fine, but now it's better than ever. Galen Beatty did it for me, and he'll do it for you. Good servicing will not only keep your system performing well during the sweltering summers here in Houston, but it will save you money year after year. In my case, it cut my AC power consumption by 20%. Do what I did. Have Galen Beatty set up regular AC maintenance to cut your energy bill and prevent system failure at the worst time. And what's better than being comfortable and saving money? Whether you need a basic tune-up or it's time to put in a new super efficient system, you should call Beatty AC 281-222-9591. That's 281-222-9591 to schedule an AC system tune-up. Beatty AC and Heat. That's B-E-E-D-E ACandHeat.com. BeattyACandHeat.com.
Attention, business owners. The marketing plan of RagingElephantRadio.com is geo-targeted for Texas. From El Paso to Orange, Amarillo to Brownsville, the state of Texas is going to know about us, and they should know about you. Together, we'll have Texas covered like a blanket. When you advertise with us, you immediately get the benefits of statewide exposure. We are the way to advertise your company throughout the state of Texas and grow your customer base economically. No matter the size of your business, we have a package for you, starting at just $100 a month. Get started by clicking the Advertise button on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Numbers equal power. Spread the word about RagingElephantsRadio.com.
See, I don't have any fancy graphics people in a control room to do those big, huge chyrons that you see on television, like on the Foxes or the Communist News Network or BSNBC, you know, that take up way too much of the screen and blocks out, I mean, so much of what's in the viewfinder of the camera. So I don't have anything like that. So I have to handwrite on my clipboard, on my scrap paper, the chyrons. And so the one that I just scratched out was, invite your Facebook friends to like our page. Now I'm putting it up to the camera for everybody on Facebook and on YouTube. Well, for YouTube, I have to change it, right? Because it has to be subscribed to the channel. But on Facebook, invite your friends to like the RagingElephantsRadio.com Facebook fan page so they can see my beautiful face on Facebook Live Monday through Friday, 12 noon Texas time. Even if you miss it, of course, all the Facebook Live videos automatically post to our fan page, and you can share an entire program. Because I guarantee you, some of your friends have never had 2 solid hours of Texas-centric, liberty-biased news, information, and commentary. It may blow their minds. You may want to have EMT on speed dial unless they pass out and have some sort of stroke about the amount of Texas-centric information that actually is available to them. That there is actually a political commentator, an ordained apostle even, that provides commentary from a liberty perspective. I don't think there's very few people behind a microphone that do that. I don't think so. This is how you fund the building of the Trump wall. That's what it's going to be called, right? He's going to have his face on it, you know, his name probably in neon. This is how you build the Trump wall. And we can't wait for the wall to be built to secure the border. The population of Guatemala is 16.9 million. Their GDP is a mere $75.6 billion. That's in dollars, not pesos. Honduras, the population is 9.3 million with a GDP of $23 billion. El Salvador's population is 6.4 million, GDP $28 billion. Nicaragua's population is 6.4 million, GDP 13.7 billion. The first thing that I want to know is, with all these little darlings and invaders coming up from the triangle countries in Mexico, who's left in the country? It's like last person that crosses the border in the Exodus, turn out the lights. So if 20% of their economies are monies that have been earned by illegal invaders in the entirety of the United States, 20%, 1/5 of their economy, then what does that equal? For Guatemala, of their $75.6 billion economy, $15.2 billion comes from illegal invaders working in the United States illegally, taking jobs away from Americans, and even worse, Texans, and sending that money back to Guatemala, back to their home countries. $15.2 billion. For Honduras, from a $23 billion economy, that's $4.6 billion that's been sent back from the U.S. and Texas. El Salvador's economy is $28 billion. That's 20% of that is $5.6 billion. And Nicaragua, with an economy of 13.7, obviously the poorest in the triangle countries, 20% is $2.7 billion. Now, what do I propose? You know what's coming. A remittance tax. And the Democrats should like this, right? They like any tax hike ever created. Any new tax, fee that you could ever possibly imagine, Democrats should be in favor of, right? Except perhaps poll tax. So they should be on board with this, because more money is going into the government. Now, let's not fool ourselves, because the proposal, the Apostle Claver plan for building the wall, is this money goes into an escrow, a dedicated lockbox, which means it's not safe if Congress has the key, for the express building of the Trump wall. So let's say we set the tax at something that's very reasonable, 50%. Actually, I think it ought to be 51. Because that means that they're literally working for the U.S. government. And I mean, if Donald says, and Mexico's going to pay for it, well, this is how you make Mexico pay for it. Mexico necessarily isn't the Mexican government. It's these Mexican citizens and those from Honduras and Guatemala and El Salvador and Nicaragua that are invading Texas and earning money illegally in Texas. Make them, yeah, I'll say it, make them work for Texas. You're invading Texas? Okay, this is how we neutralize the invasion. We're going to make sure that any money that you earn, the majority of it is going to the U.S. government, and we're going to use it to build the wall and repel the invasion. So if you have a 50% tax on whatever these invaders send back to their home countries, for the triangle countries of Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and Nicaragua, that's $14.5 billion per year. $14.5 billion. Now, the president says that he only needs $25 billion to build the Trump wall. He only needs $25 billion to build the Trump wall. And we know that 45 has a reputation as a businessman, like he says, to when it comes to a project, ahead of schedule and under budget. But let's take him at his word, $25 billion. Let's say he's on budget and it actually takes $25 billion to build his wall. 2 years of remittance and you got the funding just from the triangle countries. Just from the triangle countries. Now, what if you throw Mexico in there, in which 20% of their economy is also remittance of illegal invaders, citizens of Mexico, being here in the U.S., working illegally and sending money back over to Mexico. Their population is 129.2 million. Their GDP is 1.1 trillion, which actually is smaller than Texas. Yes. So 20% of the Mexican economy coming from remittance equals $220 billion. 1 year of a 50% remittance tax is $110 billion. Wall built and a whole lot of other stuff. Will they have the guts to do it? I doubt it. It's the ultimate plan. Not only that, oh boy, who needs sanctions? Who needs sanctions when all you have to do is just apply this remittance tax? That'll do enough damage on any of these countries. Imagine $110 billion being sucked out of the Mexican economy. If Nicaragua thinks it's poor now, what happens when $2.7 billion is sucked out of its economy? And its citizens can no longer invade the U.S. and Texas to prop up their economies. See, if the governments don't want that money to be ripped away from their coffers, they need to comply with the rules of the United States and not send these little darlings across into our country. That's what needs to happen. That's how you build the wall, Saints and Patriots. It's very easy. Shouldn't even be a budget battle. It's all about taxes. Shouldn't even be a budget battle. 50% remittance on any monies coming out of the United States and going into the Triangle countries or into Mexico. Oh man, we'd have money. We'd have money rolling out of our ears. Oh, what could we do with that money if we're taking 10% of their economies? That's 10% of their economies. Mexico, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Guatemala. I had no idea Guatemala was so rich. Had no idea. Guatemala's doing quite all right for a little bitty tiny country. Raging Elephants Radio. We'll move on to education in just a moment. Alice Linehan's going to join me. If you're not listening, you're not learning, so don't cut the stream. You get this information only from here.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantsRadio.com. Here's a sample from Pastor Keenan Smith.
See, however, though, I believe the White House is supposed to stand as the people's house for all individuals. So I believe it is sinful and wrong for the White House to spend tens of hundreds of thousands of your tax dollars to bathe the White House in rainbow colors celebrating their victory. So let me say this, that we expect an unregenerated individual to act lost. Lost people act lost. We expect that. We even expect them to embrace or promote or even applaud homosexuality and other ungodly practices because that's where they are in life. We understand that. The question is not do they act lost, but do we act found?
Enjoy Pastor Keenan Smith, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
When Andrew Jackson ran for president in 1828, his opponents called him a jackass. Jackson liked the image so much, it became the mascot of the new Democratic Party.
Okay, your credit isn't perfect. You've got bills to pay, and you need cash in a flash. Who can you trust? CashNet USA. CashNet USA has helped over 1.5 million people just like you get out of a jam and back on their feet quickly and confidentially. If you're approved, CashNet USA can get you the cash you need as soon as tomorrow. That's right, tomorrow. And it takes just 5 minutes to apply online. Just visit cashnetusa.com/go. And you can stop worrying about bounce checks, overdraft fees, collection calls, or shut-offs. If you have an active checking account, a source of income, and an email address, you can apply to get the cash you need to pay those bills, car repairs, or whatever else you have to take care of. By tomorrow with CashNet USA.
Go to cashnetusa.com/go to apply, and if approved, you can have the money as soon as tomorrow. Save now by using promo code GO9 at cashnetusa.com/go.
Money's on the way with CashNet USA.
Visit CashNet USA through the RER Marketplace.
Need to book a flight? Check out cheapoair.com. Cheapo Air offers you the fastest way to compare and book on over 450 flights worldwide. In fact, with Cheapo Air, you can travel out and back on 2 different airlines to get a better deal on flights to more than 2,000 destinations across the globe. You can even look at alternate dates and airports to see if their low fares can get any lower. Plus, Cheapo Air gives you the freedom to change your travel plans within 24 hours of booking. If something comes up, just give them a call. They'll take it from there. Cheapo Air makes it easy to save. Search their site, select your flight, and book, just like that. Your next trip is just a phone call, app search, or website visit away. Plus, with Cheapo Air, you can book with confidence. Because with Cheapo Air's best price guarantee, you know you're getting your very best deal every time. Thinking flights? Think Cheapo Air.
Visit Cheapo Air through the RER Marketplace.
Hey, this is Barry the Music Man with the Doc Green Show, and one of their most beloved sponsors is BDAC and Heat. I'll tell you what, last summer when it was hotter than heck, my air conditioner went south for the winter. So I called BDAC and Heat. He came out the next day and put in a new, quiet, efficient system. My electric bill dropped 50%. So if you have an AC problem, you need to give Galen a call. So call Galen Beatty at 281-222-9591 or bdacandheat.com. 281-222-9591. Start saving money and be cool today.
What do you care about Washington, D.C.? D.C. doesn't care about you. You're a Texan. You're a Texan above all else. And there's only one radio station that's going to feed your need for Texas power and independence. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Finally, the Patriots of the Lone Star State have a unified voice to fight back and organize. 24/7, 365. RagingElePhantsRadio.com is going to give you what you need to know about Texas politics, liberty, and independence. Take us wherever you go. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Streaming on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and internet auto.
Texas Talk is all the rage. Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Welcome back, Saints and Patriots. Just having fun talking Texas Liberty 411. Go to RagingElePhantsRadio.com and click on the RER Gear button. Get you a bumper sticker. Get you a Stop the Invasion bumper sticker. Get you a Hillary What Happened bumper sticker. Get you a Texas Independence Now bumper sticker. Get you one that says, the California Dream moved to Texas. Well, I'm glad she's back in Texas and that she didn't drown in some cave or something while whitewater rafting or something. At least she had on her helmet. Hey, Alice.
Hey, I am back and not liking the heat.
I don't want to hear anything about it. I don't want to hear anything about Montana. I don't want to hear anything about Colorado. I don't want to hear anything about it because I am completely and 100% jealous. I am completely envious. The whitewater rafting pictures and videos were just awesome. I'm glad you're still alive, though, Alice.
It was, we were on 3s and 4 category rapids, and it was pretty intense, but it was fun. It was a great time. So it was, you know, you need those breaks every now and then, and to get to go to someplace like that was pretty awesome.
Alice Linehan is Voices in Power, and she's a Raging Elephants Radio contributor, and she handles the issue of education in Texas for us, both from a national perspective and what's going on within the state. And I've been chomping at the bit to talk to her on this issue, but, you know, she was in Colorado and Montana. I was really worried somebody was going to slip her an edible in Colorado, but apparently she made it out okay. A few weeks ago, Alice, before you went on vacation, the week you went on vacation, President Trump announced, or the administration announced, the comm shop, his plan to combine the Departments of Labor and Education together. And oh my goodness, I almost hit the floor. And I think the first thought that came to mind was the numerous conversations that we have had, the numerous sessions of tutoring and briefing that you have given us during your time slot here on Raging Elephants Radio as a contributor about this very danger that one of the driving ambitions of Big Ed right now, nationally and in Texas, is to combine education and labor together to control the citizen from the womb to the tomb, even steering them into the industries, businesses, spaces of labor that they want them, the citizens, to be in, that the centralized control economy from Washington, Devil City envisions the citizens needing to be, and then herd them through education into that portion of labor to get what the centralized, planned, and controlled government economy wants. And that's exactly what's going on right now with this combination of education and labor. The Soviet education model coming to full fruition, and shockingly, under the Trump administration. I called it communist. If anyone has read the Communist Manifesto, if anyone is familiar with the 10 planks of the Communist Manifesto, what is being proposed by the Trump administration, and I do not apologize for this, Trumpkins, you need to know, it is communist. It is straight up Marxist. It is out of the writings of Marx and Lenin. It's in the Communist Manifesto. The freedom of selecting how you are to live your life, especially in the very important category of labor. What is your life's work going to be? Being determined by Washington, Devil City. That's what's being put in place. Now, am I exaggerating, Alice? Is this hyperbole? Am I falsely sounding alarms? Am I over the top cynical and suspicious? Is it conspiracy theory? Your thoughts, please, Alice.
A conspiracy is when they are conspiring against us, and this is definitely evidence that they are conspiring, but it's actually worse than you described.
Wow.
Because the central planners are not in Washington. The central planners are in the United Nations. And that's where we need to educate President Trump on exactly who Betsy DeVos is and exactly who Betsy DeVos is closely aligned with. And it is Jeb Bush and the Bushes and those who, when we talk about an economy and frankly, the impact of building a Trump wall, this is about the economy, but this is a global economy. This is about equalizing America in the world and training the American workforce to be a part of that global workforce. I've said it before, in this type of system, you are no longer that kid from, Argyle, Texas, that was on the baseball team, that went to church, that was, involved, that was a Texan who happens to live in a global economy. Our children will be global citizens who happen to live in Texas. And the central planners are not in Washington, but the central planners are in the United Nations. And what is so important for people to understand, when we've talked about the Common Core national standards, those Common Core standards are aligned with the United Nations global education standards. And not only are there behavioral attitudes, values, beliefs, and behavior standards, but there are data collection standards. This will give access to the global central planners directly to our children through the computer program. And when you understand that down in Austin next week, there is a Senate Education Committee hearing. They had one 2 weeks ago for the House side. On July 18th, there is a Senate hearing, and it's on violence and mental health. Now, people need to understand that these behavioral standards that are tied to the United Nations, when our Texas legislation, or when the elected officials in Texas take federal funds which is what Greg Abbott said in his press conference on school safety, that the funds to implement his safety plan will come from federal grants. That means that everything that is done in that school is aligned to the federal standards, which are aligned to the United Nations standards.
And when them to get that money, they have to agree. The strings are attached. You don't get the money for free. If you're going to take that money, then you have to implement these standards, and the judgment is that whether the standards are being followed or not, the judgment is based on the community of nations, the United Nations. Foreigners are going to judge whether or not we're meeting their standards. Texas is meeting their standards because we took the money.
Exactly. And several years ago, we were posting, and I've put it out a lot, but there is a video of Texas Commissioner of Education, Mike Morat, and he was testifying in front of the Next Generation of Assessments and Accountability Commission that our Texas legislature set up. And in that hearing, he said that Texas needed new character standards in place. That they call them the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. And if those standards, character standards, are put in place, then they have to assess them and collect data to make sure that every student is meeting the character standards. What does that mean? That means that it is giving the state legal authority to psychologically profile students. And remember, every student Succeeds Act means every student from preschool through the workforce, not just K through 12. So college students, if you're going to get a license or a certificate, you come under these standards. And this will give the state the ability to psychologically profile every American student from preschool through the workforce. If you don't think that's a backdoor threat on our Second Amendment, you're crazy. And I will tell you that there will be people at this hearing who will be bringing that up in testimony. But we need more people to show up to testify on July 18th, and they're probably going to have invited guests there all day, and you're going to have to stay there all day, and they won't have the public testimony till the end of the day. But I encourage everyone to come and join us down in Austin to testify and to expose the truth of what is happening. This is a global workforce, and this is giving the United Nations complete access to American citizens to modify the attitudes, values, beliefs, and behaviors of American citizens. And it will make that Trump wall a moot point, because we will be a global economy.
Okay, so, but I want to get back to the central. I think people need to understand the basic tenet here. Mm-hmm. This is the antithesis of how the nation was founded. This is actually Marxist. Okay, and President Trump is proposing to do this. And see, the statement that I've made earlier in today's program, we've talked about this before. Republican nominees for president, candidates in the primary, Republican primaries for the presidential nomination, it's routine. It's part of the pablum. Shut down the Department of Education. Never should have been created. Not enumerated anywhere in the powers in the U.S. Constitution for the government to have any say on education. Supposed to be left to the states and local leaders to decide on how they want their children educated. This is the antithesis of it. And ever since the creation of the Department of Education, the quality of education has been reduced, and the performance of our students, our children, have been reduced. to this poor performance, poor standards, and this is part of what we've spoken about, a Soviet model of central control of economy, of labor, of education, or as we have found out, indoctrination. And it is. And I want you to talk about that, Alice, where these ideas have come from and why they're being implemented in the United States, within Washington, Devil City, and trickling down to all the state capitals, more importantly here in Texas. Betsy DeVos has something to do with it, but she just may be putting the final nail in the coffin. This is something that's been going on now for decades, and it is straight up communist. This is not what was intended as far as education is concerned in the USA. No way, no how. And I want you to talk on that, Alice, please.
Well, you're exactly right. This system has been systematically implemented through both federal and state legislation to lock it in place. Even if they got rid of the Department of Education tomorrow, which, that's great. But those central planners, the people who are implementing this, understand and know that the Department of Education and what it was put in place to do originally has already succeeded. In 2014, the United States Congress overwhelmingly passed the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act that basically binds education, preschool through the workforce, under the Departments of Labor, Health and Human Services, Defense, and Education. And so even if they got rid of the Department of Education, it would not matter, because the federal funding, the money streams coming in to control have already been put in place.
The whole C-scope Common Core scheme that everybody is battling against all over the United States, and certainly you've been tip of the spear here in Texas, the roots of it, the tentacles of it, have already been threaded all throughout the government. So it's not just the Department of Education. It's not just the special lobbyists and lawyers and so-called education experts that are trying to get this implemented here in Texas. It's here. It's everywhere you look. It's inescapable, because anywhere that the government has a footprint, anywhere government fingerprints are, this centralized control of education and labor, C-scope, Common Core, whatever you want to call it, its tentacles are already there.
And here's how it happened. It happened because our elected officials at the local level, the state level, and the federal level have completely, and they are responsible for completely violating their oaths of office. Because when they take an oath of office, they pledge to adhere to the Constitution of the United States. Every bit of this is unconstitutional.
Right.
Every bit of it. They also violate in Texas the second oath that they take, not to do a quid pro quo. They take an oath not to vote on legislation based on the lobbyists and the people who are funding their campaigns. When we have conservative elected officials who say that I can't go against bad school choice because it'll ruin my political career, they are admitting that they are violating their oath of office. Because if Greg Abbott is violating his oath of office when in a press conference he says that this safe school plan that he's put in place will be funded by the federal dollars, he is violating his oath of office.
Wow.
We have got to understand
I mean, forget the whole idea of the gun control aspect of it. Implementing this in an educational setting is a violation of the quid pro quo prohibition. He's actually violating his oath of office by implementing this plan. It's not merely unconstitutional, U.S. Constitution, perhaps even Texas Constitution, but he's violating his oath of office by implementing this plan. This is what you're telling us, Alice.
You're exactly right, and that is what I will be focused on in my testimony on the 18th. I want to look at these elected officials, and I want to get on record that we, a mom in Texas, I understand that the reason why there is harm being done to my children in the classroom, whether I put them in private school, public school, charter school, or even if I homeschool and buy into the school choice BS and take the money, all of that, the reason why this is able to happen is because each one of those elected officials has violated their oath of office, and they need to be held responsible for that. Every one of them.
Indeed, they do. And Betsy DeVos, I mean, she has a personal financial stake in all of this. Do you think that President Trump is nowhere in the world? President Trump knows this, right? No one has really clued him in. I mean, let's understand something. He has his field of specialty, or his field of concentration, that going into the Oval Office, he certainly wanted to focus on. I'm not so sure education was one of them. And so perhaps, being really a neophyte when it comes to politics, he just doesn't know. And those around him, all the president's men and women, are on board with the globalization of education, the Marxist centralized planning of education and labor, the combining of it. And he probably thinks it's a very good thing. I don't know. Mrs. Kushner may think it's a very good thing. And he's just a doofus on the issue and doesn't know. I mean, can we give him that? Can we give him that space? Can we give him that amount of slack? Or is there no excuse, regardless of what his previous experience is with this very complicated issue, Alice?
I believe that he does not understand the bigger picture. I do believe he understands the threat of the United Nations. I do believe that he understands the threat of not having a secure border. He gets that. So I believe that if we can make enough noise, if we can expose, frankly, John Cornyn, Senator Cornyn, if we can hold our elected officials accountable, and frankly, underscore that collecting our children's private data and allowing that data to be used not to identify who, a certain individual is. It's not that like they care about that data to identify people, but they are using that data through these computer programs, these software programs, to modify the values, beliefs, and behaviors of individuals. And that modification is using Soviet behavioral manipulation. That is a complete violation of our private rights, our children's rights as individuals.
Okay, and the teachers and everybody is kind of complicit in this. It seems like there's a lot of deception going on when it comes to education. What parents are being told their children are being taught, and what's actually being taught. The idea of this digital learning, the computer replacing the teacher in the classroom, where the teacher is basically a monitor, a proctor of some sort. They don't understand that. I don't think a lot of parents are aware of the dangers of it. Perhaps it's not to say it's over their head, but maybe they don't understand. They think it's the newest, it's the greatest, it's the most fantastic, and what it's actually doing is monetizing their children, their Fourth Amendment rights being violated, and the power of the parent being continually reduced or non-existent.
You're exactly right. That's and those who are implementing this, the central planners, they do know exactly what they are believing. That Microsoft, Google, these organizations have partnered with UNESCO, with the
Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Meadows Foundation, and
all of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Raise your hand, Texas.
Yes.
What's the other one by Charles Butt? Raise Your Hand, Texas, and doggone it.
Well,
Texas Parents Pack, all of them.
Yes.
The Texas cabal, the global cabal, the national cabal that includes Jeb ! Betsy DeVos, current Secretary of Department of Education, and many others. They see the money and this data gathering. Not only are they indoctrinating the children towards behaviors and beliefs, values, but they are also monetizing the data, indoctrinating the children. They're making money off of this and destroying the foundations of the country.
You're exactly right. Our children are seen as an investment vehicle, and their data is the new oil. That's the commodity that they're financially benefiting from. And it's interesting, under Bill Clinton, he, along with actually Texas Senator Phil Gramm, who is very involved with Texas Public Policy Foundation, and Phil Graham's wife, who's also an economist, Wendy Lee Graham. There was a bill passed in 1933 called the Glass-Steagall Bill, and it was enacted to separate investment and commercial banking activities, because they believed that the collapse of the economy in the 1920s was because of improper banking activities and caused the stock market to crash. Phil Gramm and Bill Clinton got in 1999 got that bill reversed.
Right, and that allowed banks, brokerage firms, and the mortgages and all this stuff all got mixed up in the derivatives because of the repeal of Glass-Steagall.
That is it, and so that opened up the door for the unconstitutional public-private partnerships, and that's what we need to be asking these elected officials. Do you support public-private partnerships? Because when you support public-private, yes, they do.
Because we've been battling public-private partnerships, P3s down here in Texas, especially on the issues of transportation. And the president just announced in his transportation bill he's going to unleash P3s all over the nation. So everybody apparently in D.C. is all for fascism, because that's what P3s are. That's what public-private partnerships are, the blending of government and private enterprise, and that's an economic system of fascism. That's what it's called. So
you got it.
Alice, can we continue this next week, because we've got so much to catch up on since you were whitewater rafting in Montana? Yeah.
You got it. I'll be back.
Love you, Alice. Talk to you next week.
Okay, bye-bye.
Completely out of time, Saints and Patriots. Thank you so much for joining me on Facebook and on YouTube. Spread that link around. Let folks know that they can see my beautiful face now every day at 12 noon. Then we got the audio issues cleared up. So let's hope the audience grows. We know that through the app and through the website that the audience numbers have been strong, but we want to expand to video as well. Multi-integrated media is what the ambition is, and we hope you're going to enjoy it and tell all your friends about it, because if you're not listening, you're not learning. I'm Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, the Christian politician, your ultra-conservative soul brother. My enemies under the pink dome. I don't know about Washington Devil City. I wouldn't mind. if my enemies in Washington, Double City called me the Purifier. From Houston, may the Lord Jesus bless you. May the Lord Jesus bless the future independent sovereign republic of Texas. Because the only way out of this mess is out.